light, guys. This is not time-lapse, manipulated video. This is actually live right now. The camera every once in a while moving around too, but that is a lot of lightning.
My question to the audience, are your thoughts really your own thoughts, or are you being controlled by opposition that you can't see? Or shall I say, we haven't been paying attention to much as a community. But let's dive into this video, man. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Let's get this video to like 15,000 likes. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. We do thought exercises over here, not forcing you to believe anything, but we do have a good time.
Video from rural India. A large bonfire lit for a traditional event, and then a man who herds goats begins to walk his flock around the fire. Once, twice, thrice, and then he steps away. But the goats keep going. Round and round they go. No leader, no destination. Just movement for the sake of movement, blindly following the one ahead. And suddenly, it's not just a circle. It's a cycle, a vicious, self-perpetuating loop. It reminded me of what we often see around us. In religion, in politics, in society. So many follow without question, without clarity, without understanding the true intent of the one they're following. Not because they believe, but because they're conditioned. Because stepping out of the circle takes courage. The fire in the middle may be real or imagined, but the fear, the motion, the blind, it's all too real. Ask yourself, are you thinking or are you following? Are you chasing purpose or are you circling the flame? If this made you pause, subscribe, share it to someone who needs to hear this. No matter what
Y'all, did y'all hear what the news media outlet said about Nebraska concerning these thunderstorms?
Light, guys. This is not time-lapse, manipulated video. This is actually live right now. The camera every once in a while moving around too, but that is a lot of lightning. And that's been happening, accompanying winds of 60, 70, even up to 90 miles an hour in the eastern part of Nebraska. So unfortunately, I was just checking on the power outage situation. We're talking about, about 18,000 customers that are all of a sudden without power across Nebraska due to these powerful storms. So yeah, lightning is just one indication of how bad this weather is. You can see.
Man, this is Job 2:30 and Acts 2:19 through 20. What God said before his return, he will show wonders in heaven. And on earth, blood, fire, and billows of smoke. And this is exactly what we're seeing in France due to the wildfire. Man, it don't get no simpler than this. Jesus is coming. Prophetic signs are moving, but yet and still, many of you refuse to get on the ark. Not me and mine, though. I'm out. That's all I wanted.
In the Southern Ocean, you saying the currents have reversed. Y'all also said that Earth's core has slowed down and it seems like it's moving backwards. Y'all just now figuring out that Earth has a heartbeat. Seeing more proof of frequency surges. And now y'all saying that Earth is spinning faster than it has ever spent. Now floods is happening. Volcanoes are erupting. Cats are gathering in strange places. The sky is looking pink at 9 o'clock at night in Atlanta. We saw another glitch in the Schumann resonance. Texas, New Mexico, North Carolina, all of these different places that are going through floods. I just want to get this straight, right? Okay, so water has always been cleansing. It's an element of memory, cleansing, transformation. It's a portal. Somebody I reacted to on my YouTube channel had said the tides have literally turned. People are talking about timeline jumping. And if you notice, floods occur during times of energetic buildup. So what does it mean when the tides turn and the currents reverse? What we see every year is a sign of an overwhelmed energetic grid. We know in America, right, the land, the energy of the land, the memory of the land has spiritual fractures all over the place. From slavery, indigenous erasure. Like 8 months ago, I really dug into the structures that they built on top of Native American burial grounds. Now, just to put another surge in your thoughts, would you say that when you are a transcendent, you're going in the process of transition into the afterlife, your body goes back into the earth. So your body, your flesh becomes one with nature. Anybody remember when Moana grandma became a stingray and she just came one with the ocean? When burial grounds is disrespected, ancestry is disrespected, the lineage following the ancestors has been disrespected, the blueprint of American soil built on disrespections. And things like this have happened all over the planet. Correct me if I'm wrong. When the tides turn, it means a reversal of fortune. Meaning reversing a situation. What y'all are seeing is the tides turning. Water is alive, and it is an elemental spirit. And when that element comes through and cleans and washes away things and brings new memory, new remembrance, they said that with all of this happening right now, this is causing the Antarctic glaciers to melt. The memory in that water is coming. Come on now. The remembrance, the restoration of emotional and energetic equilibrium is being restored. The wisdom, what you're seeing in nature is an echo and a response to what is needed to be done. From what's been unlocking inside of me and what this woman talked about in the last video. The keepers, the guardians, the spirits, for a while they've been in dormancy. And guess what our indigenous family used to do around these times to assist with the cleaning? The remembrance. Let me just give you one example, just to broaden your mind on the connection we used to have to this planet. And this is just the surface level stuff that they revealing to us. Our indigenous communities and ancestors held seasonal ceremonies, council meetings to restore the balance, seek protection, communicate with nature spirits, align with the earth and thank the earth, play music, dance with the earth. They understood that changes produced in nature and even people are results of the movements that happened with nature, with the stars, with the planets. They believed that the rivers also believed to help carry the souls of those buried in their ceremony on their next incarnation. This is where we begin reconstruction of the territory. Water is a pure element. Only with water the ancestral spirits can travel. The river carries it in all our information and all our spirituality. So when you see waters overflowing on land, what do you think that means? Is it clicking to you that colonial and Christian forces labeled spiritual practices demonic? They literally did witch hunts, trying to eradicate any practice that has something to do with connecting with the earth. So these practices that were trying to help transmute the energy, strengthen the nature, the ley lines, the earth's grid, the harmony with everybody. So as I'm observing everything that's happening, these are my thoughts.
Hey man, y'all do me one favor, man. Y'all go follow her YouTube channel. She has a lot of really, really, really good information and interesting information that y'all can also, like, you know what I'm saying, indulge in if you don't already. But she's definitely, I'll vouch for her. She's definitely doing her thing.
Get y'all asses in here and sit down. We got another one. Now, question is, why are they coming to the surface? Now, it could be one of many reasons. They could be migrating. Yes, they migrate. Merfolk migrate. Okay, if they like how we live somewhere and we don't like the neighborhood, we haul ass to move. They do the same thing. Okay, it could be an ancestral call. They could be responding. The earth is tired. The earth is exhausted with us. Okay, look at this. Look at from the ear to the neck. That's a huge fin. That is not a person, people. Sometimes you see them because they are evacuating. It's a war down there. Or the reawakening of the sea titans, the ancient ones, yes, the actual ones. And 99.9% of the time, if you see one, it wanted to be seen. Y'all are connected. When you see them, that's intentional disclosure. Intentional. Sometimes they show their presence before a major shift. And sometimes they trying to activate certain humans who have a aquatic mermaid lineage, so to speak. In my opinion, what I'm feeling is that this is like an ancestral call. The reason why they being seen so much is I feel that the emotional pain of humanity has reached a breaking point. There's some unresolved ancestral grief, and they feel it, they know it. They are responding to it. And lastly, it's not physical water, but spiritual water, meaning emotional currents, energetic grids, or ley lines under the ocean have been disturbed or realigned. And that could be due to anything: seismic activity, human interference, and cosmic alignment. We don't know. I'm gonna need y'all help on this one. I'm not asking if it's real or fake. I don't go off the opinions of other people. I just would love to hear what you think.
When this second sun hit, you're gonna see completely different beings.
Pretty much all disease is caused by worms and parasites.
Parasites are demons, and when you start to compare the two, you'll see there's a lot of similarities. Parasites don't just invade your body, they hijack your nervous system, control us very easily. By definition, both are known to control their host and manipulate behavior. I mean, look at these things. They can influence your thoughts, the types of foods you crave, encourage sexual desires, even your dreams. So it's very possible these parasites act as antennas or conduits for these demonic entities. Archons, jinn, demons, whatever you want to call them. But think about it. Why else is there fast food, alcohol, and junk on every street corner? And then you combine that with chemtrails, pesticides, fungicides, microplastics, heavy metals. Think about what kind of influences you could be under. These are the sources of addiction. This is why people can't break those bad habits or those vices. You ask yourself, why'd you do that? Why'd you eat that? Why do you keep doing those things you know are bad for you? Is it you, or is it the parasite forcing that self-destructive behavior? Now, even the Bible says some demons can only be casted out through fasting. Anyone who's done a deep fast knows those shakes of abstaining from certain foods. You're like a drug addict being revealed your true addictions. But then it gets easier as you starve those demons out. So this is what no one tells you about a parasite cleanse. Killing the parasites is just the first step. You still have to flush them out of your system, otherwise you're left with a bunch of dead worms inside of you.
Let me tell you something.
They're called the Vril. They come up from underground, different spots all over the world. There's a 1 to 1.5 foot tall one. That's the Vril type 1.
The type 1s are covered in red diamond-shaped scales. Vril type 1s are real dumb.
Dragons, those are the Vril type 1. These lizards have been used to drone people because the proboscis on young lizard type 1s, they're small enough to go into an eye and not ruin the eye.
It's Tom Captain Hopkins, but I believe it's a Vril lizard. He's been vrilled.
They can do this once in my life. It pulls their spinal system. The healing would have to be restrained or unconscious.
The thing squiggles in through the eye.
Tu crois vraiment que les marques de luxe prennent la forme d'excréments par hasard? Tu crois que c'est juste des célébrités excentriques? Non, c'est une possession. Des sacs qui ressemblent à de la merde, des visages de clowns, des fringues difformes. C'est pas un style, c'est le parasite qui s'exprime. Il pense à ta place, il te désincarne. C'est lui qui t'a poussé à acheter des Crocs. Il t'attrape par les pieds et tu deviens son hôte. Hollywood te l'a déjà montré. Venom, Stranger Things, c'est pas de la fiction, c'est la réalité symbolique. Un parasite, c'est simple, il peut pas exister seul. Il entre dans ton corps et te remplace. Pourquoi tu crois que toutes les célébrités sont non-binaires? Parce que le parasite n'a pas de genre, pas d'âme, pas d'identité. Il efface tout, le masculin, le féminin, la famille. Donc ce que tu vois dans la mode, les clips et les séries, c'est pas du divertissement, c'est de la programmation mentale, une opération spirituelle à grande échelle. On voit de plus en plus de défilés glauques, des corps tordus, gonflés, comme s'ils étaient infectés.
Yo, if some of y'all can't read, let me let y'all know what's going on right now. So, as you can see, these people are dressing up as parasites that you can actually look up, and they're mimicking what they look like, and they're dressing up like the parasites. Are y'all tracking? Look, man, let's keep going. This is odd as hell, ain't it?
Ce qu'on vous vend comme de la provocation artistique, c'est juste le parasite qui s'exprime.
I'm in love.
Les Fashion Week sont des rituels, des mises en scène pour normaliser la possession. Rick Owens nous vend la soumission de l'homme. Et sa femme, Michelle Lamy, déjà bien possédée, vous invite à la rejoindre. Elle porte la tête de son mari comme vous portez une laboubou. Faut commencer à faire les connexions. Dans ce shooting avec Travis Scott, il est allongé comme une offrande aux démons. Inerte, les yeux vidés, prêt à être absorbé. C'est pas de la mode avant-gardiste, c'est une invocation. Billie Eilish vous l'a montré dans ses clips, le black goo, les gants noirs, des codes visuels clairs. Le parasite prend place, il absorbe, il contrôle. Et les crocs pétrochimiques, ça représente la même chose, l'infiltration de l'entité. Et quand c'est en toi, tes yeux changent, comme ceux des mannequins possédés sur les podiums. Le processus est interne, ça retourne tes organes, brouille tes instincts. Comme la veste intestinale de Balenciaga, où le corps est retourné. Ce que vous appelez avant-garde, ce sont des rituels de possession. Le parasite parle à travers la mode. C'est ça tous ces vêtements difformes. Le corps est vidé, l'identité effacée.
These are actually what some parasites look like up close through a microscope. They are demons, which feed on flesh. Humans were deceived into eating meat, which is actually the flesh of dead animals, which demons use as a tool to enter the body.
Hell nah. Like, look, some people don't want to hear that shit. Like,
oh, I don't have parasites.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you were to go into your doctor and you was to test, like do a parasite test that they don't do on you, you think because you go and get blood work that, oh, I don't have parasites. That's not true. You actually go get tested for that in particular by a specialist. And I'm pretty sure you have something to detox out of your body. So my question to the audience this far, you can see the symbolism, you can see everything. They're worshiping these things. This is the type of warfare that we're under. But this is not to scare anybody, because with parasites, you can get parasites just walking out of your house and stepping onto the lawn and, you know, stuff like that. Even you can get it from fruit. You can get it from anywhere. But my message is to detox. Have a consistent detox. And that's what us here in the United States, we're one of the few countries that don't speak about this together. Like, we should get on the calendar together like every month and do some sort of like detox at the beginning and the end of the month. How do y'all want to do that? We can IRL this thing. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. But are y'all tracking? Y'all don't want them parasites to look like that, though. That is diabolical that you have something like that in your body. But let's get back to it.
What if I told you humans were built to live 300 years, maybe even more? I'm not talking fairy tales, not Bible stories, not gods or magic. I'm talking real human biology, the kind they don't teach you about. See, in ancient times, China, India, even early Africa, people lived hundreds of years. Not once, not twice, over and over. Different cultures, same story. And here's what gets me. How did ancient people from completely different parts of the world all come up with the same exact lie? Not a similar story, the same numbers. Hundreds of years lived, again and again. Different cultures, no contact, no reason to copy each other. So either they all somehow imagined the same thing, or maybe it wasn't a lie at all. Maybe it was the truth, and someone turned it into a myth on purpose. Truth is, our bodies were built to last. We've got systems inside us that repair cells, fix damage, even reverse aging. But now, they don't work like they used to. Why? Because somebody tampered with the system. They changed the food, they poisoned the water, they filled the air with signals and dust. They gave us pills for everything and made sure nothing truly healed. You think it's all by accident? Nah, this was a plan. Because a man who lives 300 years, he remembers, he questions. He doesn't obey so easy. But a man who dies at 70, he forgets everything and passes it on before he ever figures it out. So no, your body didn't fail you. They just broke it on purpose. And they've been doing it for a very, very long time.
This is just a...
Do you believe that I have a lab tech that worked in an all-women's hospital in the United States who went to school for 4 years for parasitology, so she does have an understanding of parasites and what she is looking for. The results that she was finding in these women coming in with UTIs, urinary tract infections, was showing parasitic larvae. She was putting them in her report, and the doctor of the lab was removing them from the reports. So these women with urinary tract infections was never getting properly diagnosed in the United States. See, they're not allowed to tell you if you have parasites. No, the CDC and HHS does not allow that. Because if you actually found out what ailed you and got cured, got the proper treatment, you wouldn't need your doctor. You wouldn't need your big pharma pills anymore. She will be part of the documentary to blow the whistle on what the truth is. Parasites are very common, and most people have them. Some of the symptoms of parasites that most people don't know is gastrointestinal issues. So we're going to say things like IBS or IBD, Crohn's disease, colitis, appendicitis, cholecystitis or gallstones, kidney stones, thyroid issues, hyper and hypo, diabetes, cancer, brain fog, your heart rate fluctuations up or down, or both, your teeth breaking, your bones breaking easily, blood pressure.
Could demons really just be multidimensional worms? Well, let's talk about this multidimensional phenomenon found in some of these worms. In this document, Host Manipulation by Worms, a multidimensional phenomenon, they tell you what multidimensional actually really means. This document goes in to explain that before manipulation can be considered as multidimensional, there needs to be at least 2 changes in the different phenotype traits, or like 2 different changes in the same phenotype trait that are observed in the manipulated host. These changes can occur within or between trait categories, which is behavior, morphology, and physiology. What are phenotypes? Here's a great example. Like wild pigs, they have those tusks, and then the pigs that you see at the farms, the big pink ones, they don't have the tusks. So that's a different phenotype, right? So 2 of these phenotypes have to be manipulated before it's considered a multi-dimensional manipulation. So this is where it gets real fun. Speaking of dimensions, right? So a 3-dimensional being casts a 2-dimensional shadow. That's us. Our shadow is a 2-dimensional shadow. And then a 4-dimensional being casts a 3-dimensional shadow. So when you see like people are like, oh my gosh, I saw a ghost, you saw a shadow of a 4-dimensional being. But what if these worms that we're seeing under a telescope are actually the shadow of a 4-dimensional creature? Or vice versa, what if it's, because it's on a microscope, right? So what if that's a 2-dimensional shadow of a 3-dimensional creature? And this is where we could get creatures like this. But then we could take it a step further and take it to the first dimension, the single dimension. Those worms actually look like processors. These look like chips in a computer. You look up daemon, it's actually a computer code. And it's a computer code that runs background processes. You have to understand, we are physiostatic electromagnetic beings, and we run off the same codes that run like Google search codes. They're called Endinker codes. So if our brain runs off of these Endinker codes, and our brain is really just a processor, and these worms are actually multidimensional
viruses that make it so that our body can't process information and react and create the chemicals that our body needs to function, then these would technically be what demons are. And this correlates with the story in Jesus in the Bible when he throws those demons into the swine, because the swine is the most disgusting meat that you can eat. I mean, I don't care if you guys eat meat, do whatever you want, live your life, it's your life, right? But I mean, pork is disgusting, and the worms that are in the pork, they don't die from heat, right? You think that cooking it is going to save you, but it's not, because they don't die from heat. So that's why I always say, show me your plate and I'll show you your soul. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the content, because this is very entertaining and a very interesting topic for me. And as always, peace.
Lobsters are the cockroaches of the sea. Shrimp are the garbage men of the ocean. Pork is at the bottom of the food chain. The Bible told us all of these foods are unclean. Back in the day, these foods were fed to the peasants because they are cheap to get. But now people are tricked to spend hundreds of dollars on.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I understand. I get it, y'all. I understand why people are afraid to like deworm and stuff like that. Cause I ain't gonna lie. Like, if I was to see something like that come up out of me, like, what do you do? Like, do you look down and do you speed up the process? Do you like and grab him and pull him out? Or do you just keep pushing? I got questions. Oh man, it's not so much as like how do you get them out? It's like, what do you do when you see them? I had to experience it when I had we used to breed pit bulls, and we'd deworm them and they'd be in the backyard just pooping them out, and you would see them come out like things of spaghetti and they'd be crawling. I get it why we don't want to detox, but I'm gonna be announcing my detox to see if y'all want to do it. Get this video to 15,000 likes and we can start all at the same time. Let's document this. Let's do this as a community. How many of y'all down? Let me know in the comments down below. That's why I eat hot sauce like every day. Look at that. Stop them in their tracks. About to say. I know that done ruined a lot of people's days. Especially y'all females and y'all insecure dudes that like to check your mate's phone. You know, people be in the bathroom with those. You know what? I'm afraid. Y'all know that the little stuff that be under people's nails. That shit is nasty. Imagine that in the phone, bro. You don't just have a parasite. You got booty parasites. Because that's coming from under somebody's goddamn nails. And they be in the bathroom with that. That is crazy. It's crazy. I lost y'all damn minds out here, man. That's why I don't like people. None of y'all invited to my house, man. Let's gotta show you deworming badge. That's what we can hand out at the end of our detox, man. How many y'all down, man? Wow. But these frequencies, though, it perfectly aligns with a lot of different movies we done seen with frequencies. Why do y'all think that they got rid of our bells in the churches, in our cities, in our towns? Why do y'all think they got rid of the bells? Even the bells that are currently here, they put stoppers on the back of them so they can't ding anymore. These frequencies do a lot more than what they used to say.
Why they removed the bells during World War II. The old world knew the healing properties of frequency and vibration, and that wouldn't do for this new world order we have. We must remain dependent on the petroleum-based medications that are prescribed to us, the addictive and deadly, with many side effects. But there was a better way. As Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, you must think in terms of frequency and vibration. Just one more thing lost to us in our hidden history. Research the mud flood and fall of Tartaria. Dig up our past. Question everything, friends. As the inheritors rolled onto the scene, posing in front of the bells that once brought healing, unity, and so much more. As Tesla said, if you want to unlock the secrets of the universe, you must think in forms of frequency and vibration, not just the healing factors, but they were able to manipulate stone and form it into these magnificent structures that you see all around this realm that's unreplicatable today. Everything in this realm resonates with a certain frequency. There was a reason why these bells were removed in large mass, and it wasn't for ammunition. Research the mud flood and fall of Tartaria. Question everything.
It's interesting. Jeremy, I want to talk to you for a second. The Pentagon's UFO chief, this is a Pentagon guy, a UFO chief, the chairman of Harvard's astronomy department as well, both releasing a report on Tuesday where they wrote an artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth. You've got the Pentagon talking about the idea of a mothership going above us and sending probes down.
Well, look, what we do know is we have things that we're being attacked with already on the ground. So is this just smoke and mirrors? Look, man, I'm not one of those people that's just gonna have y'all out here like thinking that, you know, they don't have blue beam in their back pocket. You feel me? So when you look at these topics, be realistic, but also be optimistic at the same time so that you're not surprised in what happens next. I'm not saying that spaceships are going to come down and they're going to get off of them. That would be cool. How many of y'all going for that? Put a thumbs up in the chat, in the comments down below if you think that that's what's going to happen. Are they going to get off the ship and greet us? Or are they already here inside of our bodies and they already sent their minions after us to weaken us so that we're not thinking properly, we're not functioning properly, and we won't be prepared for what's next? Let me know in the comments.
Astronomy Department Chair Avi Loeb, thanks so much for being with us. I want to start with this thing we're talking about, the 3I Atlas Comet. NASA's like, look, it's got an icy nucleus, it's got that cloud of gas and dust, we've got the Hubble, we've got the Webb, these telescopes have shown that there's no strange signals, no maneuvers, nothing artificial. Why do you think it could be artificial or alien technology?
Well, the brightness, thanks for having me, by the way, the brightness of the object implies a diameter of 20 kilometers, and there is not enough rocky material in interstellar space to deliver such a giant object per decade. It takes 10,000 years for that much mass to arrive to the inner part of the solar system. Moreover, the trajectory of this object is very fine-tuned. It lies in the plane of the orbits of the planets around the sun to within 5 degrees. The chance for that to happen is 1 in 500. And moreover, it passes very close to Jupiter, Mars, and Venus, with a chance of 1 per 20,000 if you just change the arrival time randomly. And it will arrive closest to the sun when the Earth would be on the opposite side. We won't be able to observe it, but that's the perfect time for it to maneuver. And so we just need to watch it. I'm not saying it's an alien technology. I'm just saying it doesn't look like a very common thing. And actually the glow that is around this object, usually for comets, you see a trailing tail behind the object. And here, the glow from the Hubble Space Telescope image is actually in front of the object. We've never seen such a thing. A comet doesn't have glow in front of it.
But can you tell me why your position on this is so different from NASA's? And why in your paper about it, you kind of talk about this as a thought experiment, a pedagogical kind of exercise. You're casting doubt, and then NASA is saying it's not true. So why keep talking about it this way?
Well, science is about asking any question that you like. It's not there is no censorship on the type of question that is being asked, and the scientific method is about using data to select the correct answer. Now, assuming in advance that you know the answer is not a productive approach. We need to collect enough data, and there should be a scale that classifies objects between 0, where it's obvious that they are natural, when there is a cometary tail behind them, they don't have a special orbit, there is nothing unusual about them, and a 10, when it's definitely an artificial object where it maneuvers, there are some artificial lights, and we should look carefully at any interstellar object that comes into the solar system. We're in a new era now that the Rubin Observatory in Chile will find a new interstellar object every few months. And I'm suggesting to leave all possibilities on the table, because we launched probes to interstellar space, Voyager, Pioneer, New Horizons, and why should we assume that we are the only one in our cosmic neighborhood? We should just check by looking at data. It's not a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of NASA having authority on this matter.
And I hope to see that data soon. Avi Loeb, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Who y'all believe?
This is General Savat with an End Times News transmission. Eddie, soldier. Semyaza, the Ice King, equals the Night King. So Adventure Time and Game of Thrones both glorify a cold, fallen ruler with sorcery, mind control, and armies of the dead. Semyaza, the chief of the Watchers, found in First Enoch, or the first book of Enoch, 6, chapter 6, it says the original Ice King. He's sealed after defiling the daughters of men. Azazel and Semyaza bound in a desert, but not a hot one. Enoch 10 verses 4 says Azazel and Semyaza is cast into the desert called Dudael. But desert in Hebrew means midbar, M-I-D-B-A-R, can mean uninhabited, abandoned, or forbidden, not necessarily hot sand. I think we're all looking in the wrong place. Antarctica fits perfectly, frozen, inaccessible, legally off limits, also known as, come on man, Admiral Byrd, the Antarctic Treaty, you can't go there. You can go over to any desert that you want to, but you can't go over to, I'm not saying he's there, but you get what I'm saying? Come on, let's move on. We're running out of time. Dudael equals Antarctica. This is just what I believe. The Forbidden Prison. Is it a deep pit? Check. Is it uninhabited? Check. Is it sealed by Yahuwah? Check. No exploration allowed? Check. No indigenous population, just ice and secrecy. Dudael is most likely the polar prison of the Watchers. Cold equals judgment, not just fire. Okay? So most think Yahuwah judges with fire alone, which he will, but you gotta understand, stop limiting him. How many times I gotta keep telling y'all this? Stop limiting him. Okay? So in First Enoch and Jasher, the cold is a seal, a divine stasis. I put that in my notes, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So top of the firmament is cold, right? So if you try and go into is, hold on, and we're back. So if you try and go up in the air, it gets cold. If you try and go below the sea, it gets cold. I don't care if you in the equator. I don't care if you in the Bahamas. It's gonna be cold down there, okay? So both are barriers locking the fallen from full manifestation until the pit is open in Revelation 9 verses 2. CERN, it equals the key to the bottomless pit. The real goal of CERN is to pierce dimensional barriers. We've already talked about that. But Revelation 9 says the abyss opens and Abaddon/Apollyon rises. That's not symbolic. That's technological prophecy. Where is CERN? Geneva, Switzerland. Is it hot over there? No. I know it ain't. I know it's not Antarctica. Actually, it's cold, okay? Moving on. Samyaza and the others are waiting, not in fire, but in ice. CERN will unleash frozen judgment, okay? So each fallen entity is sealed in a specific quadrant. Hear me out. This is just my theory. They line up in the four winds of heaven, found in Daniel 7 verses 2 and Enoch chapter 76, okay? North is Abaddon, the destroyer. East is Azazel, sorcery and war. West is the Leviathan, serpent of the sea. And south is Samyaza, the seed corrupter. They're bound in separate gates but united in the final breach. The wall, the seal between earth and judgment, okay? The firmament above and, okay? Game of Thrones, and that's another thing I have to add. The water, the ocean, you know how they say that it's undiscovered and stuff like that? That's another seal that you guys have to understand. If you ever watched that movie with Liam Neeson, I think, no. Yeah, Jason Statham, however you pronounce his name. Go watch Meg 2, okay? And you see, when they went into the sea, they went under the sea to get the Megalodon, okay? And they went into another realm under the sea. So Game of Thrones wall is not just snow. It's the firmament below the heavens. It holds back ancient evil. When it falls, all hell breaks loose. The Watchers aren't gone. They're contained for now. Literally, they are literally being contained. They're telling you the stuff. The ice is the veil between worlds. Both deep water and outer atmosphere get colder the farther you go, as I said. That's by design. The cold preserves what's not allowed to rise yet. Ice is Yahuwah's lockdown system, like a spiritual crypto chamber for fallen ones. Mainstream shows are predictive programming. Game of Thrones, Adventure Time, you probably will see a video of me wearing Finn's shirt, whatever his name is. I used to be a big of that show. I used to like that show a lot. I don't watch it anymore because I grew up. Even Stranger Things, okay? Even Frozen, the movie Frozen. They're all priming the world to sympathize with the sealed fallen. They flip the script, the villains become tragic heroes, and the prison becomes oppression. It's all reverse gospel, seed war propaganda. We're in the generation of the breaking seal. So that video that I made about what year we're in, this is why everybody that you know, I don't care who it is, you can find somebody on the street and they feel like something's coming, right? Every single person on this planet knows and feels like something's coming. Even if they don't believe in Yahusha, Jesus, God, they know something finna happen. Cause nothing. 70 generations from Enoch, we're here. That's 5,000 years, okay? No, I'm saying from whatever happened in the garden, after Adam, like it was during Adam's reign, and then he passed away. When they got locked up, it was 5,000 years, and we're coming up to the end of their 5,000 years. We're at like 4,995. I'm not lying to you. So, technology, check. Blasphemy, check. CERN digging at the veil, check. all signs point to the imminent rise of Semyaza, Azazel, Abaddon, each from their quadrant, each returning to reclaim corrupted dominion. Now I know that you're going to be like, oh, well, Yahuwah is, Abaddon's on Yahuwah's side. Yeah, but you have to understand, he has no emotion. He's going to come out swinging. He doesn't care who it is. Get out of that dude's way, I promise you, because he's just straight up destruction. All right, transmission over and out.
This guy, William Cooper, predicted 9/11 before Alex Jones. And this guy, William Cooper, hated Alex Jones. Wow. Said that Alex Jones was a fearmonger and potentially a disinformation agent. On June 28th, 2001, just months before 9/11, Cooper said the following on his radio show. I'm telling you to be prepared for a major attack, but it won't be Osama bin Laden. It will be those behind the New World Order.
Oh my
They
gosh.
need a major attack in order to launch their plans for a world government and to take away your freedoms. So he said that in June 2001, before 9/11. But then on November 5th, cops showed up to his house to arrest him for tax evasion, ended up supposedly getting in a shootout and killing him.
What?
Weeks after 9/11.
Are we dumb?
Cooper didn't trust anyone. He despised UFO cults, even though he claimed to have seen UFOs while in the Navy, and later believed aliens were a government hoax. He believed aliens may be demonic in nature or part of a Luciferian deception. Disclosure will be fake and used to create a one world religion under the Antichrist. The more he actually started reading scripture and stuff, he changed his views on what aliens were. He said in 2000 on a broadcast, the whole alien thing, it's a lie. The day they fake an alien landing, you better know it's the devil coming.
Oh my gosh.
That's bad. This guy, William Cooper, though, man, he would have been a
great guest. And to finalize everything, the message from this story is we've been paying so much attention to the things that's been happening around us, in the sky, on the news, and on the internet. But what we should really be focusing on is things that are inside of us as well. So let's just keep that balance and let's keep pushing.